Hello everyone, welcome back to the Going Zero Waste YouTube channel. I'm Catherine Kellogg, and today we're going to be going over a very popular question. What is more eco-friendly, a real Christmas tree or a fake one? Please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my video with the YouTube algorithm, and let's get to it. All right, so I'm gonna try to do this in the traditional pro-con method, and I love a good pro-con list. So let's start with real Christmas trees. First up, the pro. Most real Christmas trees these days are farmed. This is just like going to get broccoli from the store or a head of cauliflower from the store. You're buying something that has been farmed and is designed to be cut down. You're not typically going into forests to just chop down random trees. And if you are, you have to have a permit for those. And those are trees that would otherwise have to be cleared for forest fire management, or in case they're encroaching on something like wetlands, and they're non-native species that shouldn't be there and will actually cause greater harm to the current ecosystem. So if you are chopping a tree down and you have a permit, this is actually very beneficial for the environment when it's done in a controlled setting. But most Christmas trees, 350 million of them a year to be exact, these are farmed and specifically designed to be cut down. There are Christmas tree farms currently located in all 50 states in the United States, which means it's going to be really easy for you to get a tree that is locally farmed to you. This is great to be supporting local small businesses and to get something that is local to you in your area. Of course, the carbon emissions of this is going to be much lower than shipping, let's say, a fake tree all the way over from China, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Because Christmas trees are farmed, whenever you cut down one tree and you go and buy it, another one is planted in its place. But trees absorb carbon throughout their entire life cycle, and that carbon is going to stay in the tree when it's composted and if it's turned into mulch or if it's used for another of really cool projects. I did an Instagram post about this and there were so many amazing comments about different ways that people use their Christmas trees to foster sustainability in their own environments, and I'm gonna read a few. Or just fun and interesting ways to dispose of Christmas trees. One of my personal favorites is city grazing in San Francisco. They use them to feed goats, which I think is cool because I love goats. I love So some states, the Department of Fish and Wildlife Conservation collects all the real trees and uses them to build fish habitats in lakes and rivers, which I think is so cool. Then of course, there are a lot of businesses that will turn it into mulch or take care of the composting with you or use it to feed things like goats, which I think is so much fun. I'm looking through the comments and I feel like I might find one or two more, which I might pop up on the screen of cool initiatives of people who are using Christmas trees in order to do cool things. If you have any tips on maybe a local organization around you that does something really cool with Christmas trees, please let me know in the comment section down below. Now let's get to the cons of having a real Christmas tree. Depending on where the Christmas tree is farmed, they might use pesticides and or herbicides on the Christmas tree. And of course, if they're using that, it is possible that with rain that can run off into local rivers and local waterways. Of course, this is also a problem with fruits and vegetables. But we are looking at all the pros and cons. So now we're on to fake tree pros. What is in their pro list? Number one, of course, they're reusable. You can reuse them year after year. On average, they're much more inexpensive than a real Christmas tree. And if you are taking good care of it, they can last for a really long time. I was so encouraged by so many of the comments and people saying that they've had their fake trees for 25 plus years, which is awesome. I love that so much. So definitely if you have a fake one, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're reusing it as much as possible. This is also great if you have an allergy to pine trees or trees and you wanna make sure that you can breathe this holiday season. So that's another really big pro for fake trees. However, it pretty much ends there. So let's get to the cons of fake trees. Fake trees are made from plastic. A lot of them are made from PVC, polyvinyl chloride, which has been linked to negative impacts for human health and for the environment. A lot of fake trees may also be manufactured with lead and other heavy chemicals, which can off-gas in your home. In fact, more than 85% of all Christmas trees are imported from China, and that has a pretty hefty emission tag coming all the way from China to the United States. There's a province in China that's nicknamed Christmas Town, and I saw a whole expose on this, I believe in the New York Times. I'm going to put some pictures up here because it is pretty sad to see the working conditions that many of these people are working in and living in to create our Christmas decorations. In fact, 60% of the world's decorations come from this town. My friend Elizabeth from Zero Waste Cutie did a whole bunch of really good Instagram posts on this, so I am going to link to these over here and link to her profile down below if you want to go check it out. 95% of Christmas lights sold are made in China's internment camps using forced labor. These internment camps have used forced sterilization on women. The prisoners have to work 15 hours a day and are often beaten if they don't comply. So in conclusion, this is what I have personally come to decide. If you already have a reusable Christmas tree, you should reuse it as long as possible and keep it going for as much as you can. If you don't have one, but there are extenuating circumstances where you can't get a real Christmas tree, maybe you're allergic or maybe there are financial constraints, maybe try and find one that's made in the USA. Also look secondhand. I have seen so many Christmas trees available at the thrift store. In fact, I picked one up myself. It was about this big. It's really cute. I typically put it as my kitchen tree and string popcorn around it. It's really adorable. It came secondhand and I got it for $3. So definitely check out your local thrift store and ask your parents or grandparents if you have them, if they have excess Christmas decorations. Every single year my grandma calls me and she says, "Do you need any Christmas decorations?" And I say, "No, I do not need any Christmas decorations." And she says, "Okay." And then she puts a whole bunch of Christmas decorations and sends them to me as a present for Christmas. So I have so many Christmas decorations just passed down to me. And I'm sure if you have an aunt or an uncle or a grandparent or a friend that has a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle or a friend, they probably have some extra Christmas decorations, so feel free to ask. And Christmas lights as well. I don't even remember buying Christmas lights, but I somehow have 3 pairs of Christmas lights. And I'm sure if I asked around, many people and friends and family would have Christmas lights too. Of course, you can also look for Christmas lights that are made in the US and try to avoid maybe some of the negative impacts associated with buying new Christmas lights from China. If you don't have a Christmas tree and you would like to obtain a Christmas tree, I think supporting a local small business and getting one that is grown locally for you is a really, really great option. Especially if you're composting at the end of your life, you're giving it to a place where you can get mulch or have the tree mulched, that I think it's a really, really great solution. And Christmas trees are one of the few carbon positive industries because the trees do absorb carbon throughout their whole life cycle. Just make sure you don't throw it in the landfill. And lastly, of course, you can definitely use a Christmas tree alternative. I have one that's hanging on my wall right now. This is fresh garland, where I just kind of created a Christmas tree out of garland, which I think is really cute and fun and festive. It's something that's great if you're working in a small space. Of course, you can do a no tree tree, and I will throw up tons of images of different types of trees you can create. I've seen some really cool ones with just hanging ornaments, which was really a lot of fun. Create a tree out of palettes, create a tree out of books. You can celebrate in a non-tree way, decorating a house plant, or you can even have a tree that is planted. I tried this my very first year in California, and apparently the secret to it is you can only have it inside for about 7 to 14 days, and then you do need to plant it back outside. Someone who rents and currently lives in an apartment, this really is not a solution for me at this time, but I do think it's great if you do want to plant a tree and maybe decorate it outside. I think that could be really fun and really, really festive. Thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Press that big red subscribe button to be notified when new videos are coming out, and I will see you next week with a new video.